everybody. Glad to be with you today. So, another amazing opportunity to share with all, 579 of you here on the Rock Your Sacred Purpose Facebook group. I love that there are so many people and that are in this group, and there's so many more that are going to continue to come into this group that are committed to their deepest awakening and are wanting to rock their sacred purpose from their depth and to utilize the full capacities you have to lead the way with what you're here to share in the world, and to be able to do so in a way that fulfills you on every single level, that you're integrating all the higher dimensional energy with that which is here to be embodied, that you're here and you're committed to thriving as well, and helping people in the deepest, most clear way for you. That's your true work to do in the world, and also at the highest level possible. That's fun, joyful, playful, and amazing for you. Okay, so that's what it's all about, right? So today we're going to be talking again about awakened sales. Everything's about awakening, deepening your awakening. We're definitely going to talk about that today and how that relates to sales and directly what we can do to support ourselves and having sales, so we have the opportunity in the first place to help people in the ways that we do in a deeper way. So I'm talking today about deepening your surrender. So today is just such a great day, coming off of Thanksgiving. Some of you maybe ate a little extra, around the holidays. Maybe some of you didn't, and then we're getting into where the light in most of the areas where I'm talking to you at, the light outside is getting less, and you start feeling like, for some of you, maybe that hibernation energy a little bit. And what you have the opportunity to do is to take advantage of that so you can deepen your surrender, deepen your connection with what's essential and true in the process. Good to see you all here. Hi, Cindy. Good to see you. So because we are here, and so I'm going to get into the topic. I'm going to share some things with you that'll be really helpful to you in this process. And then I'll, of course, as usual, just so I remind everybody, I'll do some group energy scanning. I'll do some individual scans. I'll do some channeled messages and a channeled prayer to put a cherry on top at the end, right? So have fun with you. Okay. All right. So recently, I've experienced some congestion that you might notice today. And, when you're not feeling 1,000% on a physical level, it does help you to surrender. So whatever you've got going on in your life, whatever thing you're dealing with, it allows you to, it helps to slow you down. Sometimes we have things show up for ourselves to help us to slow down so that we can really land. Instead of having that, sometimes it's a way to deal with some of the excess energy or concepts that we have. It allows us just to get down into our simplicity, whatever challenges are going on in our life. So that's really what is coming into you. That's really the invitation. Are you willing to listen more fully and deeply? That's been the invitation for me. I've been pretty much in great health all year. And, just had this little thing come up, and it happens, right? So it's a matter of honoring my humanity, right? And being humble, because I pray for my health invincibly every single day. So it could be a real blow to our ego when things don't go the way we had hoped or thought we intended. So how do we handle those things? How can we deepen our surrender no matter what's going on? Especially when we're struggling perhaps in a certain aspect of our life or in our business, and how can that help us to actually land with what wants to happen and propel our purpose to the next level. So let's talk about these three ways, and also about motivation and how motivational techniques and motivational ways actually can be very distracting and very non-productive often in trying to really do our greatest work, and also in allowing ourselves to more deeply awaken. So let's talk about all that. Okay, so maybe we'll start with the motivational technique. So I am trained in motivational techniques through all the psychology I've studied, through all the courses I've taken, all these different things I've done over the years. I have, definitely learned so much about how to get my subconscious mind on board. I have hypnotherapy training and hypnosis training, multiple certificates in that. I did science of mind training, became a certified practitioner of science of mind. Good to see you, Lisa. And I'm finally seeing your guys' comments here. I have to look on two boards here. And Sarah, yeah, it's so great to have you here too. Yes, if I get a chance, I'll definitely do a message for you if I get a chance then later, Sarah. Okay, so the motivational ideas, if we just dial in, like I said, I became trained in psychology, hypnosis, science of mind ideas. Once you get your mind right, everything's going to work, positive motivation, all that stuff. And I was known by some people as being the most positive person on the planet for a period of time. And I was always talking about, I was always cancel all the negative things and always yes, 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 always be positive. And, I enjoyed that after being someone that was depressive and had a lot of low energy earlier in my life. It was very helpful. And so it did help me to manifest. It did help me to move forward. But I call it, what it can turn into. I think we see a lot of examples of it online around the world for people who are having, outer success, is, you can run into what we call the motivational monster, right? The motivational monster says we always need more, right? We always need more. The motivational monster it's about survival, right? We have to have more. We have to get the storage, the stocks up so high of food, for example, like, or whatever we need. We need more, or we need to prove more. We need to show we can do more. We need to help more people. We need to save everybody. And until we do that, no one can rest. No one can feel satisfied because, we're still screwed because we haven't done enough yet, right? So, but no worries. We will use our motivation to always take it further, and we'll work more hours and we'll get more accomplished. And eventually, we'll see more and more innovation, and somehow we're going to have heaven on earth doing that, right? So, obviously, me just even saying all that, you guys know that motivation alone is not the answer. Right? It's just obvious, just talking it through, the logic in it. Well, of course, you could achieve more if you have more motivation, you work more hours and all this stuff. What I found as I worked more and more hours is that I did achieve more, but I also found that I was less present sometimes in my relationships, with my family. I found that for years, all I did was take walks, and I didn't do any other real exercise in my life. And I had excess weight. I'm not like some big, huge, strong guy at all, but I had my physical muscles went down to nothing after being pretty strong guy for my size anyway, growing up, and when I was into weightlifting. So all these areas, other areas of my life went down as being the motivational monster, so to speak, developing spiritually at the same time and building my business up to 6 figures and beyond. And then once I started moving more into the multi-6 figures, I started realizing, okay, I've got to actually take care of myself on every level, and that'll help me to sustain multi-6 figure business. And to be able to do, for a while I was doing yoga multiple times a week, going to class, all the self-care, all the usual stuff, massage, acupuncture, chiropractic, meditation practices galore, prayer practices, the walking, whatever, all the little big things I do, meditating 3 times a day. I was taking care of myself, and I was spending all the time I wanted with my family and with my young kids growing up. And my life was, and then I also was just able to appreciate what we call the little things in life, things we call little things, like just being able to appreciate the smallest thing of being able to experience my breath right now, my smallest thing of seeing there's 4 people alive at this moment, like that little thing, just to appreciate that. If it said 0, if it said 400, I could appreciate it all the same if I'm in that aligned place, right? And instead I'm alive, I'm looking at myself here on Facebook Live and I'm having a good time. Like just the smallest thing, not to have any fear, any panic. Nothing else has to be different, right? So getting that baseline, you actually can experience peace. We always say we want peace on earth. But for motivation, there's never peace on earth. It's always we need more. And I'm not against motivational stuff, but I'm also telling you being a motivational monster will bring no lasting peace at all. You'll get to a point and you'll be really elated, like I hit this goal or that goal, and you'll feel like nothing like right afterwards. Okay, wow, why don't we triple our results like as fast as possible? I can do that. I can make that happen too, you know? And what happens is eventually you get burnt out. You start doing things, perhaps, if you're a spiritual teacher, online person, or healer or whatnot, maybe you start slipping in your integrity, when you're honest with how you're sharing yourself in the world, how you show up, what you say. Are you using all the NLP techniques just to get somebody to sign up for your programs? Are you really truly sincere and authentic in your heart and connecting with people? All these things are considerations of how are we doing business. You made $10 million, but how is it being done? What impact is that having in people's lives for the positive, but also maybe not for the positive? Maybe it's creating more suffering for other people as well. So how are we doing things? Because again, when I talk about rocking your sacred purpose, I'm talking about us all fully, more deeply awakening so we can, from our connected space, experience the treasure that's always here right now, the eternal presence, and experiencing heaven on earth is a real deal that's ordinary, commonplace, and that is the ripple effect that all are coming into from the Sacred Heart, from that place, while saying yes to more abundance, prosperity. The idea of more, sure, the experience of embodying this moreness, sure, but yet knowing it's full already. We're already full. If you already perceive you're lacking, to me, that's a misalignment. When you realize you're already in your fulfillment and you're just here to experience more of your fulfillment by loving yourself and loving everything that you're feeling called to do, then there's no lack, and there'll be no lack financially. There'll be huge abundance, and it will be more sustainable, and it will continue to grow as long as you continue to remember that. Now, I've taken the banana peel at times. Well, maybe I have to get in my head, get smart with my business. I'm going to make it happen. Whenever I do that, then the results, either they plateau or they start going down, right? So what are these 3 ways? I know it take a little longer with the talking part today, but these things seem to be important to say today. So with the three different ways, there's countless different ways, but I'll share like 3 different ways today that you can deepen your surrender, that will, and I can show you how it can create more results. So I did a whole podcast once on this. You might look it up if you haven't listened to it before on Spiritual Rockstar Podcast. But how can you, the first way is always coming from the zero state, 0 point place, like the 0 point, like zeroing everything out. Like, okay, I'm wondering if I should do this or that in my business. I'm really worried about this. I'm worried about my finances. So if I create this new product or program, then what's the next thing in the funnel? And then what will that lead to? Where will I be from 2 or 3 years now? How do we automate it? How do we become evergreen? What do we do with the Facebook ads? How do we, when will I need those new team members? Do I need to hire a VA? Oh my God, when I get a VA, then I could do this and that. Listen, this is where some of us are. Our heads are so involved in all these details and ideas of what we could be doing in our business. We need to come into what I call the 0 state. where you're not having so much thought about everything, which is exhausting. Even you listen to the, whatever we think of them, but they're efficient with their energy. Mark Zuckerberg or people like this, they do talk about, and it's true that there's something to conserving your energy through not having so many thoughts that aren't productive, that aren't really going anywhere. So when we come to a zero state, we let go of all our concepts, right? All our concepts about anything that's going on. And we just simply become present again, and we come into that connection. So we recognize that we're never missing anything. Again, it's coming back to principle. We're not missing anything. So we come into zero state to remember that we already have it all. It's already all here. Everything else is a delusion. It really is. Oh my God. The distortion that some people put into that is, oh, that means I shouldn't care about anything. It's just all about being in the zero state. Nothing matters. Okay, yes and no. It's a yes and no on that one. But coming into that full surrender, realizing there's nothing I need to be added to me. I could never do another thing for the rest of my life. And, I am one with the one. There's nothing that's going to be improved about what is most essential and most important about, just being who I am as an eternal being is enough. That's enough. It's enough. You don't have to do everything else. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to, it's not that you have to. Is it that you're moved to when you're moving with the rhythms of life? Absolutely. But you don't have to. It's not a have to thing. It's not a should thing. It's something that you get to enjoy. You get to enjoy what's coming up. And so coming back to a zero state, when you get too many concepts about anything and realizing, okay, I can just let it all go. Even if you think you're right about something, I'm going to do this new launch. It's going to be the greatest thing. I'm going to do that Facebook challenge finally that I got trained to do. I'm finally going to get my program out there. Okay, all right, fine. You're all set and ready to go. But if there's even the slightest misalignment, to just let go of the whole idea of launching. And then as you let go completely, do you still feel like it's time to launch? Does it feel like the exactly perfect time to launch? If it's not, then it's probably not the right time to launch. And it's kind of contrary to a lot of things a lot of people say, including myself, at times. But there's different medicine for people at different times. I mean, because if you've never done anything to show up and really help people or to market significantly, it could be true that you're always going to say it's never the right time, right? So that is possible, but when you're really authentically utilizing this way of being I'm talking about, it will come. But sometimes I do tell people, just to balance the wisdom here, I will tell people, hey, I'm getting it, you just need to take action, you need to start showing up. That's true, because sometimes you have to prime the pump in order to be open to letting that happen in the first place. So that can be true, but this deepening your surrender part, you want to let go of everything. If you're getting too caught up in what actions to take and all these ideas, that's one way. Another way is to, when you do that, that's kind of a second step, is to take the time to meditate and see what comes through. That's why I always talk about my Meditate, Make Money meditation that you can get at yoursacredpurpose.com. I always talk about that because it opens you up, your energies, your chakras a bit. It allows you to listen to your guidance, and it'll give you wisdom. It'll point into a direction. And even with that, you want to zero out again. Okay, I don't know if that's true. But if the energy's still there and it's still moving you, you move with that energy. I have something that I'm going to be launching soon, and it's just about, it's going to come out. Probably later this week, the masterclass for it. It's coming out. I'm like, you'll get the announcement soon. But it's like, until I launch it, I always tell people, yeah, it looks like this is going to happen. I never say it's absolutely going to happen until it happens. Oh, okay, it happened. I'm always like, who knows? We'll see. But since this wants to happen, but we do take some time to meditate, to listen more fully. What does want to happen? What wants to come? And then surrender to what you've been told wants to happen, what you're sensing, what you're feeling. What's coming up in your energy and your intuition, what is coming through. I read something recently in this book called Blink. I recommend the book. Um, anyway, in this book, it talks about that the simpler things are, the more simple that the decisions are, often we should take a little more time with them and actually think about them a little bit and weigh the pros and cons. This is what the book said. I thought it was interesting. But it says when things get more complex and things feel heavier, or, you know, like, wow, this is a big decision, you actually will tend to do way better to just trust your gut instinct and dive right into it. Isn't it interesting? So the more complex it gets, you should do the opposite of what you think, which is, oh my God, it's a big decision. I should really rack my brains about this. You should just do it. You should just do it. You should just go with your first, most of the time. Okay, I'm not saying every time it's going to be right, but more times than not, you're going to be right with the very first impulse of what you feel you should be doing in that scenario. And that's kind of what I'm saying here with this second step, is like, you trust what comes through and you just, yes, okay, it's a big step, but I trust that's right. And if it's not right, it will reveal itself. You'll know, but you need to keep listening. Okay, the third thing, and then we'll get into doing the energy scans stuff with the groups and individuals here today, is, and this, again, this sort of connects to what I've already been talking about, but is we tend to give a lot of meaning to a lot of things. And honestly, like, every time I talk to you guys, I'm looking in the mirror, of course, right? We're all looking in the mirror as teachers, right? So I'm looking at my mirror myself. And again, I've been thinking about with this launch, like, okay, but then what does that lead to? You know, what's my funnel? What would be next? All this stuff. What's the meaning in that? So we could sit there and continue to wonder about the meaning of all kinds of things. What's the meaning in me even having a business? What's the meaning? I'm not saying these are my questions today, although I asked a lot of questions, including those. But like, whatever our questions are, why this, why that, why everything? I think it's, you know, I like people that question things. I love that we question a lot of things. I think it's great. But we start getting downloads. Oh, I believe this is true, therefore that's true, and then this is true, then this is true. And then I guess that's it. Okay, I got it all figured out. And we want a sense of certainty, and that we know the whole funnel in our business, or we know all these details about our business. We know our 5-year plan, or a 1-year plan, or a 1-month plan. We want it because we don't trust the presence just to tell us what's right in each moment. You know, we don't necessarily need all these plans. I'm not saying they can't be useful. Again, it's not a zero-sum game here. Well, maybe it is. I don't know. But it's not a zero-sum game in this sense that, you know, planning can be helpful, right? It can be helpful, but often planning, what I like to do, what I always find works best for me is to plan and always be open to everything changing. You know, okay, this is the game plan, but I'm listening every moment, could change at any moment. And that's how we want to do things. This is how we want to do our lives, in my opinion, okay? From my perspective and what I've seen has helped. So that's being very surrendered, and brings you a lot of peace. Like, oh man, I don't know if all these pieces sound right, you know, to how I want to do this live event I'm about to do, or this virtual event, or how I want to do this program. Don't worry, you know, you can always, especially if it's the first time you did it, but no matter what, you can always, and I've done this many times, where you can tweak it at a minimum, right? You can tweak the program as you go along. Oh, I don't know if it's the right program to offer. Okay, well, offer it anyway if it feels, you know, pretty irreducibly true for you right now, but you're still concerned about it. Offer it anyway. You'll get feedback, and you could change it right away on the dime, and then you could always change it more in the future if you want to do it again. But to take the action, you'll never get that learning until you actually take those actions, right? So we have to actually take certain actions to get the clarity that we're hoping for by stepping into the unknown fully and saying, hey, I surrender. I'm coming into this, I have no idea if this is going to work. I'm going to do it anyway. And if it works, great. If it doesn't, I'm going to learn. And it will take me down the road, so to speak, of fulfillment, my purpose, my destiny, and the impact I want to bring through my business. So I will say, I mean, that you want to make sure that you you elevate your perspective, that you elevate your mindset, you elevate your energy, right? So these Facebook Lives are some sort of contribution to that, of course. But we want to make sure we're coming from a higher place. We're going to be talking more and more about things like energy scanning and how to gain more of the type of clients you want that are investing a lot more money in your services than maybe they have so far. Because everybody needs to be, high ticket, but that most of you want to be, and it's authentic for you. And if you're like me, you need enough downtime to take care of yourself. Otherwise, you find, you have physical problems. I had back problems come up when I was all on the motivational track. Like that was kind of when it started. And then, all that was able to be addressed by taking better care of myself, right? So we have to listen to the signals that come up. They're trying to tell us something. So we have to be willing to listen and, to be able to be financially, just to be able to take care of what for us wonderful, privileged people, so to speak, or us fortunate people in the world, the basics are the roof over their head, the food and everything, all those things that we desire and want as well, like realizing our desires actually are the greater fulfillment, not only of our own destiny, but of other people's destiny, because we can't have what we desire without other people having a chance to contribute something they already want to contribute and for you to want to invest in them. It can't happen. You can't fulfill your greatest desires. They're not selfish. They fulfill other people's destiny and allows you to invest in them by you saying yes to it. It works. So this idea that you even incarnating was like a sin, right? This is the idea we were given, like in Christianity. Well, you came into a body, you screwed it up, now you're going to suffer. I don't buy that. I don't think there's any mistakes. Source doesn't just allow... even the idea of a guy in the sky isn't going to allow something to happen, right? That isn't for some purpose. It isn't for some purpose. So anyway, that's a whole nother discussion. All right, guys, I've gone way longer than usual with the talking points to start today, which is perfectly fine. But I do want to get into the energy scanning for all of you, so I only have so much time to be on the live today. So let's do some, starting to see some of the comments here. So seeing some amens and stuff, okay. Okay, great. So let's go ahead and let's do a group energy scan. If you want an individual energy scan today for me to tune in to something you'd like me to tune into, you could mention what it is here, or you could just say energy scan, please, and I'll tune into you overall around your gifts, what maybe something you need to know today around the subject today for you specifically, or whatever wants to come through. Okay, so my energy scanning is just me tuning in intuitively to you and even psychically and looking at what's unfolding, what's there to share today. So I'll do that for you individually. I'll do it as a group first for one or two things for the group. Okay, let's tune in for the group. Live and through recording. I'm getting that there's riches for you here for you to enjoy. I see like the Christmas sack filling up. Like there's far more abundance available easily to you than you realize. When you let go of the idea of struggling, you find that the trees bear plenty of fruit. You find that life bears plenty of fruit easily, that you haven't needed to earn it. You haven't needed to measure up to be able to have that fruit from the tree. It's naturally been given to you as a gift. Only those that have been ruling over your consciousness would have you believe otherwise, so that they can have you act in a way that's in accordance with what they choose and what they would prefer. But instead, you can start to realize that this abundance here on the planet is completely natural. It is here for you. And you've always had this abundance. You've always known the richness of abundance at some level. So many of you, almost all of you, even from when you were a child, knew that life was magical and abundant and bring you with anything you'd want. Only the cultures and those places in the world and past timelines where people are suffering are people continuing to say at any level that there's there are people that have struggled, there are people that have had the experience of lack of abundance in so many different ways, from starving to just not having enough to pay bills, to financial crises, to whatever, many things. And it's always a story that's accumulated within the individual consciousness that was informed through your ancestry and or through your culture, and by those that had an agenda that you bought into a story. This story is here intended to help you to realize something deeper within yourself, and that you're committed to that in this lifetime. So the essential message is here is that there's so much abundance. What it brings to mind, actually, which might seem contrary to what's in your mind right now, but people who are have very little, or in some cases are even starving, maybe even almost starving to death. You're starving to death. You're just trying to hang on physically, but people have very high levels of poverty often, as you've probably heard, and especially in many different cultures in the world, not necessarily here in the Western culture maybe as much, are sometimes the most grateful, abundant people on the planet in terms of their attitude and their perspective on life. And so to be truly abundant is to experience the deep inner riches, and to allow yourself, if you choose and it feels right for your journey, to allow those financial riches to come into your life, knowing that there's many other people wanting to experience so many things, that you're saying yes to that. You're activating other people to experience more of the sweetness of what they want to experience, and what would support them, by saying yes to your own abundance and your own desires. And that they're abundant, they're rich, and they're automatic, just like fruit off a tree. That's like they're growing in abundance around you in this tribe. They are around you. It's easy for you. But be direct, be clear, be direct and clear, and harness that abundance. Okay. So again, this is a very old wisdom teaching, but you can already feel you can feel abundance and prosperity inside yourself when you let go, right? And you just go within. You can feel it. You can feel it in your heart. You can feel it in your body, perhaps. Feel that. Remember, that's what's real. That's what's real. And the so-called abundance outside of yourself only flows from that connection that you feel inside yourself. Can be no other way. Comes from within. Okay, so I just see the desire for clearing like poverty programs. No, we need to keep at it. There might be another potato famine or something like that, or it wouldn't be right. We need to, keep towing the line, keep working this job, and we need to be successful with this so I can survive and I can prove that I've honored an obligation or duty that I'm supposed to honor. These are little programs. And it's like you're in a prison with that idea. When just like, I've shared this story before in places, but like Houdini, one time they put him in, the story goes, I suppose it's possible it didn't happen, but I've been told Houdini was put into a jail cell, and they told him that there's no way to get out of it. It's they had the strongest lock on it they've ever, and it's unbreakable. You could not possibly break out of the cell. And so he tried it and he tried. He put him in. He tried and tried. Took out all his picks, all his tricks, trying to open up that cell, and he labored and he about to pass out from all the stress and all the energy he put into it. And then as he collapsed, he fell against the door of the jail cell, and it sprung open because the cell was only locked in his mind the entire time. And so whether this is a true story, which, doesn't matter, there is a real truth in it that this is how we experience life. That jail cell is always open. And once we realize it's open, and that we've only been told a story that just hypnotized us into the idea that we're stuck, that we're locked up inside, we couldn't ever possibly get out. Once we start to let go of that idea, you say, hey, no, cancel that idea. I don't believe that anymore. Now everything's possible. And your fear is that people will be upset with you, they'll persecute you. That only that thought form would create that for you. Instead, now you're imagining that everybody in your life is getting behind you now or in a very short period of time. They're cheering you on. They're saying, oh my God, look at what you're doing. I don't know, you seem to be happier at least. I don't know if I like what you're doing, but boy, you seem to be doing well. Well, let's see how long it keeps going, or whatever. Or they bless you on your way, or they really start to understand you, or maybe they disappear from your life because now you've learned a lesson. They don't need to be in your life anymore. But you're free. It's only a story, this deep hypnotic story you've been in, that you're locked in. You can't get out. No, you can get out today. You could decide today you're going to move through that door. And nothing can harm you. Nothing can stop you. You're infinitely connected, and all riches are being added on to you on an outside plane, but it's really all within. It's already here now. Thank you, God. And so it is. Okay, so it's a lot of just sort of channeling on top of some energy scanning there of wisdom, what's coming through. Just honoring your intuitive capacities, that you are so strong in them. They are not to be frittered away. They're to be utilized. You're to be utilized for your own well-being, maybe to invest financially in things that feel true right now, but you've been hesitating on because you wonder if you should be taking such steps. Maybe I've gone too far. Maybe you get back to that potato farm, be smart finally do the smart thing, so we have enough when the next famine comes. Maybe have more motivational work. No, just say no to that today. Just say no to that today. Source God, your guides, Jesus, Buddha, whoever, all of them are here to remind you, you are that infinite abundance. You're free. You're free to walk through. You're no longer in bondage. You're free. No matter what your conditions in your life, today you're free, and you will act in accordance to that essential freedom you've always had and always will have. Let it be so, and it's done, because it's your truth. It's the truth that you want. Drink from this cup of truth and enjoy from this beautiful, gaudy looking, wonderful cup of life, the cup of life. I'm ready. And if you don't even trust that cup, just go to your zero state and know the truth. You're abundant. You're free. You're free. You're free to do what you come here to do. What have you come here to do? What have you come here to do? Let the small, still voice reveal it to you. What have you come here to do? What have you come here to be? What have you come here to be, maybe even more importantly? Feel the sense of freedom that comes from just being in this connection letting go of the encumbrances of the mind that feels lack. It's always operating out of, wants to go back to operating out of survival, that you've walked through the gate already. You no longer will be controlled by that. Instead, your mind now becomes a servant to the presence within. Presence in your body and your heart, your mind is willing to be a servant to it. It's okay that your mind doesn't know. It's okay that you don't know, but that you trust what you're feeling. You trust that presence and connection. You give yourself fully to it. Okay, thank you. All right. Now imagine yourself giving to others now. The sense of generosity of how you can give to others from this space. No concerns of receiving. That receiving becomes automatic from the state of giving. Perhaps this gives you insights on how you want to quote-unquote market your business, but it's just how you want to share, how you want to love others, how you want to show up. Now, as you toil the land, if you choose to toil the land or whatever work that you get involved with, you're doing it from a place of richness and abundance, knowing incredible abundance is coming through whatever you're planting. It's already coming into fruition, great bountiful fruition. Because you feel it, you sense it, you've planted it in the soil of life from the energy you're feeling in your presence. You're letting it be so. Okay, everybody. All right, so I went way more than a couple minutes on that one. Okay, so just take all that in. You can just linger there, or if you would like, if anybody wants an individual energy scan at all, let me know. I wasn't sensing a lot of individual energy scans so far today, so I thought I'd go ahead and just do a prolonged group one first. So Alec, okay, anxiety, all right. We could tune into your anxiety and see what messages I'm picking up from the anxiety. Okay, let's do that. All right, Alec, here we go. So there's a sense of a sense of wild horses that want to run in all these directions, and there's also the part of you that wants to give up and surrender, feels depressed, wants to just give everything up. May want to die even, but want to be in the ground. And notice all these impulses: to die, to be in the ground, the wild horses. Give yourself to that inner death, that sense of inner death. That's where anxiety comes to rest. Where there's heightened anxiety, there is the opportunity for a deeper awakening. What does want to die within you today? What does want to die within you today? Some of what I get, Alec, is what I've gotten forever for you, as long as I've known you anyway. But again, it's just like the creative energy wants to come out. And but my throat, I can't, okay? The gate is open. No matter how much your mind tells you the throat is closed and it's too much. It's just too much. It's shutting down. I can't do it. No matter how much it says that, there's an energy that wants to create and wants to share in the world, wants to become highly creative, and you sharing through maybe your YouTube channel, you know, through your videos, like just again with the rapping and no longer being concerned of what people think of it. Like just, I don't care. Even I don't even care about my own opinion anymore. Let me share my spiritual truths, my rapping. I'm going to share everything that I feel called to share in the world abundantly. And I know it's just going to help the right people. I'm just going to trust that's true. I'm going to stop concerning myself with letting that happen. I'm going to stop concerning myself with what my mind, the mind is what's saying, is this the right thing to do? Is it right? Is it just? Is it appropriate? Is it right based on my conditioning and my religion, etc.? It's only the mind that can go through all the gymnastics, all that, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. It creates more anxiety. You know, you've heard this saying before, Alec, and again, I say it for you and everyone here. The mind is like a hammer. The mind, when it becomes activated and it's worried, the mind is a hammer and everything is a nail. Everything in your life becomes a nail. Oh my God, well, what about religion? Okay, but what about, what my parents said? Okay, better hit that nail too. Okay, oh, wait a minute, maybe I'm not good enough. Better hit that nail too now. Okay, all right. Oh, wait a minute, I'm really worried about this other thing over here. How about my relationships? Better hit that nail too. Okay, and then, you know, like, oh, wait a minute, I think I've got, did I get him? I don't know. Better hit them all again, just keep hitting, and then you find more nails. Oh my God, more and more. Mind will never stop. It'll never stop being anxious. It'll never stop finding more nails. But your presence, deepening in your presence, allowing yourself to allow your mind to release its grip on your life, because that's what it wants. It wants you to release that grip, to know the truth from the depth of your being, deep in meditation, deep in connection, to trust that, not what programming could bring your mind. Your mind's looking for programming. Give me the right programming, now I can relax. Instead, go into the deeper waters of your being to know the truth beyond what anybody else says. Know your deeper truth from that space. Watch your anxiety begin to subside and dissolve as you go into this deeper presence and start taking these actions from that place that naturally begin to bubble up again and again, because you'll know the truth of them, to do the sort of work that I'm talking about. Share your intuitive gifts, to share your psychic gifts, to share your prophetic gifts, share your knowledge and wisdom, share your rapping, sharing yourself with the world. Knowing, honestly, if you just ask people to contribute to you financially, that they would. You just say, here's a tip jar even, people would contribute. And you can always have, you know, higher ticket services for people to invest in at the same time. Okay. You don't need a JOB to be able to prove yourself and survive. Okay. And again, I'll say this for everybody. If you're guided to have a JOB, a job, regular job, then so be it. If it feels from your core of your being, when you go to your zero state, you feel like you're guided to work a specific job, absolutely. Otherwise, you just don't need it. Just think no. Think no first on everything. Go deeper within. Know your own truth. Don't take my words alone for it. The truth, so to speak. Instead, know your own truth. I'm just pointing the way. Make sure you stay active and exercising. I know you can't always go intensely due to physical things that may creep up even to this day, but that whatever you can do to work out the energy, I'm getting like really working out like in the ways you can. Keep thinking, what can I do? You're very good with that, Alec. When you get focused, you are good at identifying what you can do. What can I do? And then watch the difference that it makes when you do it. How you feel that sense of peace that comes in your body when you exercise a bit more or a lot more. Meditation, exercise, again, just being in nature and doing your work in the world, that your deeper work in the world. All these things will help with your anxiety. Money easily follows when you let it be easy. You let it be easy. Thank you, God, and so it is. Amen. Okay, so we're gonna have to leave it there on that one. Grateful to share with you, Alec, and I'm reading on the screen here. It's just easier to find. Thank you, Darla says. So much. I just want and need to feel a little bit better physically. Self-care time. I'm just not comfortable now. Okay, so we can take a look at that. You're welcome, Alec. Lisa says, thank you. The group scan was really valuable. As always, I must come again and re-listen. Okay, thank you for sharing that. Thank you. Darla, let me, we are almost out of time actually. So let me do a quick tune in and send you a little bit of energy, Darla. And then we need to wrap up pretty rapidly here. Getting something about peppermint. I don't know. I just see a leaf and I hear peppermint. Okay, so I just share what comes through. Peppermint, something about aloe. I don't know all what you have physically. Just share some quick things. Where's the main? Okay, where's in the system? The main thing seems to be your third eye energy seems to be interconnected with your survival. So you're not always, but like there's a connection with your third eye and survival. So you'll be hunting for how am I going to feel better? How am I going to survive? Energy. Okay. All right. So remedy. Let's see what I can give you a quick remedy. So instead of feeling this energy that you get in your head, maybe you get headaches and stuff, feel the energy rise in your head to the higher brain centers. So come up to the front, interconnect that energy in your higher brain centers and feel it flowing through your body, and then also additionally through your third eye, and then see what solutions you're guided towards in your life. And this also can help with some of the issues with your health. Real quick, let me take a look at that some more. There could be something with your gut health to improve on. What I just talked about will help some, but okay, something about I keep hearing T cells, so I don't get a major warning on it, but it's just coming up. What about T cells? Okay, hold on. Okay, so I don't want to share this information necessarily here. So I don't want to get too into it here because it's getting kind of in depth with your health. And so Darla, if you want me, if you want to follow up with me, do a DM to me and let's communicate from there. So yeah, because I'm running out of time is one of the big reasons why too. So all right, so let's talk that way. Anybody else would like to get more support from me? Feel free to say yes to that. Say yes, I'd like more support, and I'll be happy to talk to you as well. Or you can always send me a direct message as well, and I can tune into some stuff for you and or make an appointment. If I get a guidance to offer you an appointment, we can always do that as well. Okay, everybody, so we do need to wrap things up. Okay. All right, so yeah, all right, so let's do a very quick channel prayer. That's what I have time for. So I recognize right here and right now, God is all there is. The infinite dwelling presence here is fulfilling everybody and everything. Your cup is to overflow if you choose, so choose it today, knowing that the divine harmonics within you are singing and wanting to fly through you as you deepen your grounding and rooting at the same time, and you're moving at God's speed here on an energetic plane to manifest miracles for others and to experience financial freedom, and knowing that you already have everything you need, and the money just flows naturally through you as you're bold, fearless, and courageous in your asking and in your receiving, and allow it to be natural and abundant, that you can be safe, whole, well, and seen for who you truly are and doing your greatest work in the world right now. So you surrender more deeply and let this be true. It's already been accomplished and it's already done. Thank you, God, and so it is. All right, everybody, gotta run. Sorry about that quick ending, but be with me next week at 3 p.m. Central on Monday, and for another amazing Facebook Live with me. Look forward to it, and lots of love and blessings to all of you, and I'll be talking to you real soon. Okay, lots of love. Goodbye for now.